Hello, welcome back to my channel and to today's video where I'm going to be doing a Marks & Spencer try on to hopefully give you guys that little fix of Marks and Sparks that you have been missing from your lives, if you're anything like me at least, because I have really been missing Marks and Sparks. Now their stores remain open. The current update as of when I'm filming this is that they've started to allow some small online fashion orders, not across absolutely everything fashion related, but some. And unfortunately, delivery times are from about 10 days, which just feels like it's back in the olden days. So I have selected these items from store. I did struggle a little bit with sizes for certain items, in particular dresses. So I have only one dress to share with you guys today. But actually the pieces that I've got to try on, I really like. Okay, starting off with item number one, which is a pair of jeans. And I know it's very warm at the moment, so you might not even be considering wearing denim in any shape or form. But here we are. These are the barrel leg jeans, and I think these are gonna be the next hot ticket from Marks & Sparks. So in terms of fit, and certainly in comparison to the horseshoe jeans, these are actually a very similar fit. When you have them flat laid next to each other, they look almost identical. The only thing I would say is these are probably slightly wider, a little bit baggier in terms of the leg fit. But you still get that sort of bow-legged look when you're stood sort of flat on. Now, of course, not everyone just stands flat on throughout life. You walk, you move. So I'm going to share that with you guys in the cutaways so that you can see how these jeans look on when you are moving. Now, one thing I would just flag about size, although I will pop all of the size details and all of that kind of information down below in the description box, I would normally get a 10 long in Marks & Spencer jeans. However, in these, I couldn't find a 10 long, so I got a 10 regular, and I think that they actually work better given the barrel leg fit. Right, moving on to my next item, and it is the ribbed basic vest. These come in at £8.50. There are some striped options. There are also some solid colour options. You've got some really cool colours in there and some brighter colours as well, for those of you that like to inject a bit of colour into your summer wardrobe. I wanted to feature this because they're really good basics, and also I just think at this time of year, a basic vest, it's so easy to throw on, easy to style with jeans, trousers, skirts, whatever it may be. You can dress it up, you can dress them down, and they're comfortable. Fabric composition, this is 95% cotton, so it's quite rich in cotton, but it does also have that little bit of elastane in there as well for stretch and also for allowing for different bust sizes. Now, I spent a little bit of time going through the customer reviews and they are outstanding. This is a very highly rated item, and I go through the reviews in particular when I do these M&S try-ons because there's a whole range of different women with different lifestyles, different body shapes, and so I like to read what people are saying. And well, I mean, you guys can read them for yourselves. They are really positive reviews, so I think that this is a very strong product. And if you're looking to add maybe a couple of other colours, or if you're looking to update your basic vests or whatever it may be, this is definitely one to consider. Now, one thing I will mention about this when it comes to style, and I think this is something that Marks & Spencer do really well, and that's think about what their customers want and hopefully what they ask for. This is not a racerback vest. So we've got that sort of classic vest style at the front, but it doesn't go into a racerback on the back so that it doesn't prevent you from sort of having bra struggles. You can just wear a normal t-shirt bra with this vest and not have visible bra straps. And that brings me to my next item, because if you are looking for a racerback vest, we have just the item, and this is a secret support vest. So this has an integrated bra inside. It has padding in there as well, which is removable. So if you're not a fan of padding, you can whip that out. But it has the secret support elasticated, and it's pretty decent as well. Elasticated support band underneath. And lots of you may remember me absolutely harping on about these last year, but the Uniqlo integrated bra tops. I was just like a broken record about those integrated bra tops last year, but they were cropped. So this is actually a full length version. It comes in 4 different colours. It's cotton rich, 95% cotton I believe these are, and it has that racer back style and the higher neck. These are £12, so they're slightly less in price in comparison to the Uniqlo ones, and there are a few other sort of, they call them secret support, that's sort of M&S's name for these integrated bra tops. There's a few other options as well, and I will make sure that I pop all of those links down below in the description box. But if you are going into your local M&S shop, do not forget to have a look for these in the underwear section, because what I found in my sort of local or larger store that I tend to go to, which is Blue Water, they have them both with the basics, and they also have them in with the underwear, with the slips and sort of undershirts and that kind of thing. So be sure to check those out. Okay, next item, another barrel leg. So these are 100% cotton trousers. Fabric feels really nice and soft actually. And again, I think this is something Marks and Spencer do really well. I have always been a fan of their trousers and their jeans, mainly because they offer the 3 leg lengths and a very, very wide range in terms of being size inclusive, but also because they just have nice fabrics. I think it's something that they've always done really well. Even when it comes to workwear, schoolwear for kids, M&S has always been very much a firm go-to. Right, so when it comes to shape of these, I found that these weren't quite as exaggerated as the barrel leg jeans that I featured at the start of the video, but they still have a very prominent barrel leg. So once again, Marmite item, you're either gonna love them or you're gonna hate them. Now these have the feature that I love the most. All of the business, the smartness, the tailoring on the front, and the elasticated waistband on the back. And going back to listening to their customers and bringing you functional and comfortable details that we all want, I think this is another thing that Marks and Sparks have got right. Now, when it comes to creating outfits with this type of trouser, I think it's probably one of the easiest types of trouser to create an outfit with. One of the most effective outfits, in my opinion, is something kind of like what I've got on. And these trousers that I'm wearing are also a barrel leg. They're not Marks and Spencer, but they're also a barrel leg, and just teaming with a basic t-shirt and then adding in your own sort of personal touch with accessories, I think is a very, very underrated outfit, and just such an easy like couple of pieces to throw on, style it however you want with your accessories, style it up or down with your footwear and your bag choice. They're also something that I think could be styled a little bit smarter as part of your summer workwear. Right, next up, my first and only dress and my first piece from the Autograph collection. And I think that's why I was able to get my hands on this, because Autograph is the slightly more elevated, more, dare I say, premium range at Marks and Spencer. They tend to maybe be a little bit more fashion forward or a little bit more sort of designer in their look with their designs. And because it's a more limited range, I think they take a little bit more risk with those pieces, but they also tend to use more premium fabrics. Not necessarily in this case. This is definitely I'm sorry to say it again, but a bit of a Marmite fabric. It's not going to be to everyone's taste. It's very stretchy, very slinky. It's actually quite heavy. Feels very cool to the touch. It's a viscose, poly and elastane blend, because it does have very much a stretch to it. It's a basic sort of vesty style dress with a scoop neck, so there's no real bells and whistles here, but because this is from the Autograph range, it does just come in this one colour, which is a very sort of faded, washed out, maybe like a jade green colour, and it is a dress that clings. You could probably size up in this to avoid that, but I don't know if you'd necessarily get the same look, but it is definitely a clingy dress. So this is probably, I loved the idea of this, but it's probably not something that I would add to my wardrobe, given that I have a few sort of tummy issues, and if I eat ice cream or bread, this dress would just not necessarily make me feel comfortable. Okay, moving on, and I've got another M&S basic. This is the pure cotton boxy t-shirt. I have it here in black, but I am also wearing it in white. This is an excellent t-shirt. Now I know was it last week's video or the one before? In the COS try on video, I shared with you guys the COS Classic t-shirt, which is by far one of my most recommended t-shirts. I absolutely love that t-shirt. It's thicker, it's amazing quality. However, there's a lot to be said, and they don't carry the exact same quality. The fabric is thinner, and I'm not sure they will last as long. However, if you look after things, if you wash them at lower temperatures, wash them at 20 and even on cold, you can definitely get lots of life out of a Marks and Sparks basic. And when it comes to fit, length, just overall vibes of, if like me, you like a boxy t-shirt, this is pretty high up the list for me, and it's £9.50. So first thing that I love is the longer sleeves. As you can see, they do come further down just above the elbow, and they have a dropped shoulder as well. So I just really like that kind of slouchy shape. Second of all, they're not cropped, but it's not a super long t-shirt. So if you're going to be tucking into a more fitted pair of trousers, like what I've got on here, there's not a lot of bulk that's going to be going on around the waist area. You can literally just tuck it, do my tuck trick of stretch to pull out the perfect amount, and then you haven't got loads of t-shirt bulk tucked in around the waistband. And finally, fabric. It's 100% cotton, so it washes well, but again, try and wash at lower temperatures to give it more longevity, and it keeps its shape. So overall, this £9.50 t-shirt gets a huge thumbs up from me. Right, next item, and I have the linen wide leg trousers. So these come in at £45. There's a few different colours of these, and this is a slightly more tailored style. So in comparison to a lot of the draw cord or the elasticated waist trousers that I feature, these ones are a smarter option. So it's a good option as summer workwear, also a good option if, like me, you like to inject a little bit of tailoring to your look. So once more, something that you can just team with a basic, and it makes you just feel a little bit more elevated. Now, these were actually a style that Marks and Sparks brought out last year, and I featured these in a few of my videos and across various different forms of my content. They've brought them out again this year, so that obviously means they were quite popular. They're 100% linen. They come in 3 different leg lengths and a few colours which are quite easy, versatile, easy to blend in with any existing wardrobe. Okay, now we're back to basics, and I've got another basic vest top to share with you guys. This one is slightly different to the ribbed basic vest that I shared earlier. So as you can see, this one has slightly wider straps, also has a higher neckline. So if this sort of area is not an area that you like to show, this is a better option. And once again, bra compatibility, absolutely no issues with this at all. I would just advise wearing something a little bit smooth, something with no seams like a t-shirt bra. M&S have loads of different options of those, so I will link my favourites as well down below. And these come in a few different very wearable colour options, but I thought I would feature this green because it is not something that I would necessarily go for, but I just wanted to share a slightly different colour option than my preferred white, black, grey, beige, chocolate brown, just for those of you that do like a little bit of colour. And now my next item, another pair of barrel leg jeans. These are the barrel leg relaxed jeans. So whilst on the face of it, they may look exactly the same as the first pair of barrel leg jeans, these are actually slightly different. So the first pair have like these visible sort of double seams that run down the legs, which are visible if you were looking at them flat on, whereas this is more like a traditional just side seam. These are a mid-rise and again come in the 3 different leg lengths, really size inclusive sizes as well. And these actually only come in this sort of dark indigo wash colour, which makes me think these might potentially just be an early drop of autumn winter, because that sort of stock does start to trickle into stores from about June time. Now there is one other difference between these jeans and the first barrel leg jeans, and that is the fabric composition. So these are 99% cotton and they feature 1% elastane. Now the reason I think that is because these are a darker indigo wash, and with that kind of dye and the way that the denim has to be treated and processed, that can often make it, if it's 100% cotton, that can often make it quite itchy, really stiff, really scratchy. So with these, I think Marks and Sparks do a really good job of integrating in that 1% elastane to soften the fabric so that they feel more comfortable. And when it comes to styling, I think my points remain the same for these as with the first pair of barrel leg jeans and all of the other barrel leg trousers as well. Just a nice versatile piece. Style them as you would with any other pair of jeans. Right, moving on, and this is the only accessory that I have in today's video. In last week's video, you would have seen a few other Marks and Spencer bags because that was my summer bag edit from the high street. So if you haven't seen that, go and check that out. There's some very nice bags in that video. So I didn't want to oversaturate this video with accessories. So this is my only accessory that I have chosen to feature, and this is from the Autograph range. So it is made of genuine leather. If you find a genuine leather at Marks and Sparks, more often than not, it will be from that Autograph collection. Now, this has a full zip closure, which, as I mentioned in last week's video, is very rare for summer bags and basket bags, but it's very rare for bags in general these days. Tote bags seem to be really popular and they're often just an open style, sometimes with a magnet or a tie, but a full zip bag, very rare to find these days. So I think that's a nice little feature to have on here. Overall design, it's a little bit bohemian, so perhaps not going to be to everyone's taste. And if you are not a gold hardware, if you don't wear gold jewellery or mixed metal jewellery, this might not be your cup of tea. Now, one thing I will mention, because this is a bit of a negative for me, and that is the width of the shoulder strap. Now, I do have all of the padding in here, so it does look a little bit bulky and a little bit sort of cumbersome, and is padded quite heavily, so it doesn't have a lot of flexibility to it. But I just think that when it's on the shoulder, it's starting to do it already. It's one of those bags that you sort of have to keep hold of, perhaps that way with the detail at the front. And I think that's probably how it's been designed, but I just wanted to flag the fact that it does, and I don't really have very broad shoulders, but it does slide quite easily off the shoulder. The padding could be one element in that, but I just think if you are going to fill the bag with all of your daily belongings, then it could be a little bit problematic in that it does just slide off the shoulder. Otherwise though, really nice bag for just less than £100. Beautifully made, really nice leather, practical. Yeah. Okay, moving on, and next up I have got the denim Bermuda shorts. I get requests a lot from you guys for longer length shorts, which is why I've started to feature them in some of my recent videos. And these are a very, very strong option. Now they are, as mentioned, denim. It's 100% cotton denim, so nice and breathable, but still slightly a thicker fabric in comparison to like a softer, more of like the trouser fabric kind of shorts. Now these do also have a frayed hemline, which I know is not going to be everyone's cup of tea because that does make them super casual, but as a slightly more sort of fashion forward pair of shorts, I think these are a really strong option, and they're very, very affordable at £27.50. So these are a mid-rise. They come in sizes 6 to 24, and I will make a small note on size for these that they do come up small. I bought the size 10, which I have absolutely no issues with in any of the other trousers or jeans, but these for some reason gave me a camel toe issue and they were just too snug around the top part. So I sized up by one size in these to a size 12, and those fit much more comfortably. So my size advice would be to size up by one size. Right, another pair of trousers now, and these are the carrot leg cotton rich trousers. So these, unlike all of the barrel legs, are a much slimmer fit. They still have a similar-ish shape in the leg, but I think these are going to be more appealing to a wider audience. They're not quite as exaggerated, not quite as extreme or as fashion/trend led. These are a lot more versatile, and I think they're going to be easier for more people to wear. So these come in two colours, black and more of like your sort of classic stony type of colour. And unlike the other barrel legs that I have featured, these do not have the elasticated waistband. So these are a slightly smarter overall pair of trousers. So I think whilst these would work really good day to day, they could also be a piece that's integrated into a summer workwear wardrobe. In terms of fabric composition, these are 97% cotton and 3% elastane. So I know I've already flagged that they don't have that elasticated section or any elasticated sections in the waistband. However, with that 3% elastane just into the general makeup of the fabric, that does give them a bit of stretch, which adds to the comfort. Okay, next up is this square neck knitted top, and this I actually managed to pick up from the front of the store, which is where they normally prioritise putting their newest drop of products. So I was quite surprised to be able to get this in my size, because it is the newest items that I was struggling to get hold of. Now, unfortunately, the fabric on this lets it down a little bit. It's a viscose blend with polyamide. Now it is 55% viscose, but there's probably just a little bit too much polyester in there for my liking. The fabric feels okay. I would definitely say knitted fabric is accurate. It's quite a tight knit. By no means does it feel like a jumper or a sweater or anything like that. However, they do have similar styles to this, but from the basics range, which are cheaper, and they're made from 100% cotton, and they have a very, very similar neckline to this. So I will link those down below along with this one in the description box, because I think the more basic style is the better option to go for. Right, we're back to barrel legs. Clearly barrel legs are having a real moment. So this is another cotton rich pair of barrel leg trousers. As with the first pair that had the button, these have a nice tailored front section, and then my favourite feature of the elasticated waistband at the back for comfort. Now, if I had to pick between these and the first pair of barrel leg trousers, I think I would opt for these. They just have a little bit more tailoring. They have these darts on the front, which I just think are more flattering. These would fit, again, another really nice piece to add into a summer workwear wardrobe, or if, like me, you like to wear a smarter pair of trousers with a basic, whether it be a t-shirt or a vest. And I'll style up some outfits in the cutaways for you guys so that you can see some sort of styling ideas. Now these I did get in a 10 long, and I think that I quite like these ones in the 10 long because the legs aren't quite as exaggerated as the other barrel leg styles. Fabric wise, these are also 100% cotton, and once more, they have that really nice sort of soft touch feel to them. And finally, I just wanted to give an honourable mention to the Marks & Spencer Good Move collection. So this is their sort of activewear collection, sporty, outdoorsy, all that kind of stuff. They launched Good Move back in 2020, and since then I've noticed that it has just expanded. It's become incredibly popular, takes up a lot more space in stores, has more of a presence online, and the collections are really nice. I've got some really nice outdoor trousers from them, fleeces, waterproofs, practical sportswear, some really nice pieces for yoga as well, which actually I think this all-in-one could be a really nice yoga piece, as well as for traveling or even just loungewear and sort of athleisure, school runs, that kind of thing. I just wanted to mention it because they've got some really nice pieces, and if you are looking for more affordable but still nice fabrics when it comes to wearing athleisure or sportswear, any of that kind of thing, I think it's definitely worth a look. And there we go. Those were a few current pieces from Marks & Spencer. If you've got a favourite, then do let me know down in the comments section below. But otherwise, that is it from me today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.